Joining me today is UFC strawweight contender Mackenzie Dern, who takes on Nina Ansaroff this Saturday at UFC on ABC too. Mackenzie, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited. It's fight week, So, like you said, ABC, I think it's going to be like a lot of people, different people are going to see it, and two moms fighting each other. So, I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, for sure. And you got me to my next point, so we might as well talk about it now. And yeah, I mean the theme is pretty cool going into this one. So it's a nice narrative to the fight as well.
Yeah, it's crazy when I really wanted to fight someone in the top 10. When I went to go talk to Mick, I said, man, okay, I'm ready to fight in April. Please, someone like top 10. I want to get into the top 10, I want to get close to the belt. So, when he told me Nina, I said, like, that's awesome. Nina's number 5. I said, like, man, okay, so she's going to fight too after her pregnancy. I think she'll be like 6 months, more or less, So, it's cool. I kind of like, of course, every family, every parents, they have their own experiences, but like I kind of know a little bit what she's going through, what she went through, coming from time off and coming back into it, and trying to juggle, like, baby mission, and fighting at the highest level of MMA fighting that there is in the world, so it's a cool experience.
Yeah, no. Are you expecting the time off to impact her at all? Because it's been almost, I think, since June 2019 since she's last fought.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, not that will be like a. I don't think will be a deciding factor, like to win or lose, but definitely I think like timing wise, and even just confident wise, like I think she can be like the most confident person ever, because I know what it's like when you have a baby. You feel like you're Wonder Woman. You feel great, you feel great, but you don't know how much better you're gonna be 20 months from now. Like myself, for example, I'm like my daughter shall be 2 next in June, so when I fought 4 months after pregnancy, I felt like, man, I did my 100%, did the best I could with everything I could, at the time. But I had no idea like how much of a better athlete I'll be 20 months later, So I know everything, like kind of an idea of what she's going through. And I think just timing too, like the timing to be back 100%, getting punched in the face with like 4-ounce gloves. It's different, It's just being in the ring, in the fight, that you get that feeling back, And so, I mean, I think she's such a dangerous person, And I think if there's anytime to fight her, it's now, And I'm proud, I'm proud like of her, I'm proud that she's back fighting, and I'm proud like me too to be us two having this fight as two moms. It's gonna be great, and especially to be on ABC. I think a lot of the guys are gonna be like thankful, that maybe now their wives are gonna like really enjoy, like, when fights come on, like, hey, let's watch the fight time, and I think will be really cool to like get the woman, more and more excited, to see women's fights and moms fights and all these things.
On the main card as well. Looking back, would have you changed anything from the time off coming back? If you look back, is there anything you wish you could have done in your preparation, or was it too hard to kind of anticipate what it was going to be like to come back?
I don't know. I mean, I don't regret coming back 4 months. Like I said, it's like the only way to get that feeling back is like actually fighting. So I mean, I only like, unless it was to fight like in a, like a lower division, organization again, But and once you're in the UFC, you're in the UFC, and you just want to get back and fight with the best and things like that, So you're fighting like with the lions, and everyone's hungry and all these things. So um, I think the loss was important in my career. It was a big, like, not changing factor, but it was a good to kind of take a little pressure off my shoulders. And once you have that taste of a loss, you don't want to feel it again. So was I don't regret anything. I think I did my best that I could, and yeah, I mean, I think just even like your sparring partners, they put the pressure on you, but it's like you don't really know how hard they're going on you until you're like in a fist fight, with the 4-ounce gloves, So, yeah, I don't regret at all like coming back 4 months after, and I think that's what helped me get like all my wins now, like kind of this momentum that I needed at this right time. I think if I waited back then the first time back fighting, I would still kind of maybe get jittery and get the first feeling, I feel like, man, that hurts, you know, you forget what it feels like and things like that. So I'm really happy about how my whole journey is going right now.
And yeah, it's such a cliche question that we ask you guys, like, how does it feel to have your first loss? Is it pressure off of your shoulders? But it almost looks like it worked to your benefit. You've looked fantastic as of late. Are you almost happy that it happened at this point in your career rather than later down the road, that it's allowed you to make these changing? You've added Jason Perillo to your staff. You've done a lot of work in your striking, and you're on a great run right now. So you almost feel like, I don't want to say it's good to have a loss, right? But you almost feel like it happened at a good timing.
100%. I feel like, man, woo, I'm happy it's like out of the way. You know, now I feel like everything I do is like, you know, not surprising people, you know, but everything is like, man, okay, so people will see me in a different way, you know, instead of like expecting so much, is expecting so much, you know. So I mean, it just having the structure that I have now with at the Ruka gym with Coach Jason Perillo, and now I brought in my strength training coach from Brazil, Rogério Camus. So, you know, for my pregnancy, I kind of lost a lot of muscle strength. It's one thing that I had said a lot in interviews. Like, man, I want to get my strength back. So I want to get my strength back, my muscle. And just now for this fight, that I finally felt like everything. I have the right support and the right structure that I can like add one more responsibility to my camp, and that's like strength training. You know, so like I feel like I'm getting more and more like champ material, and you know, you need to be professional if you want to be the best of the best, you know, and that's like, you know, professional and everything, the strength training, the, you know, mental part, the striking, the grappling. So like the only thing I wish is like, man, I wish I would have met all these people and been at this time in my life sooner, you know, because I feel everything is going great, you know, but I know you can't like rush things, you know, and everything happens for a reason. And yeah, I think like you said, the loss in where I was in my life, that everything happened at a good time, you know, because I think it just opened the doors for like to be the champ and to stay a long time as a champ and to accomplish a lot of things as a champ, instead of maybe like becoming the champ and then maybe getting my first loss there and getting so sad and not motivated, you know, to come back and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw you had your daughter in the gloves. Is she already running around the gym?
Oh man, all the time. I'm like, she's so cute, but inside of me, I'm like, man, I hope she doesn't want to do MMA, because now I understand what my parents go through watching their daughter get punched in the face, you know, because she like she's so aggressive, man. She likes to like hit it and run, and we kind of like, it's hard because we have to like teach her how like not to just go around and start punching all these kids, you know, and that she play, you know what I mean? She thinks it's like fine, you know, and so it's like, man, I think she always have like her little baby face for me, even when she's big, you know. But of course, if she decides to fight, I'm gonna support her no matter what, you know. But inside of me, I see her liking it way too much, you know. I'm like, oh, let's stay to jujitsu. That's like just arm bars and chokes, you know. But she just wants to punch in the face and all these things, you know. So I think we have like a future fighter in our hands.
Yeah, no, from a very athletic family, so it might be it might be in her future. I want to ask you, this might be a weird question, I don't know. We're seeing some improvements in your striking. You're such a good grappler. Is it hard to improve in the grappling department because you're such an accomplished grappler? Like when you approach your training and stuff like that, is it difficult in that way?
Yeah, definitely. Like you always like you evolve, but it's very little. You know, you don't evolve like this in the striking. You see like big improvements. You know, you're like, man, can you say in the grappling? It's like very little things, little details that I say like for this camp. You know, I had like a little from her style of that we watched from like studying her fights and stuff. The way she kind of stays on the ground, like a lot of up kicks and kind of a little bit um a little like spazzy kind of almost, you know, but she knows what she's doing on the ground. She's not like completely, you know, lost on the ground. Kind of made me think a little bit outside the box, you know, and like ways to, you know, obviously not get kicked in the face and things like that, you know. So that's when I start to see like, okay, you know, brainstorming with my dad and with the guys at the gym, and we, you know, they're like showing me kind of little things that maybe it's something that I already did, but with a different detail or a different like grip and things like that. And that's where you see like, okay, you're still evolving, you know, and that's good, you know. But definitely the evolution on the ground is way smaller than it is striking, you know. And you see like, man, you just go like very little up.
Yeah, and let's talk about the matchup with Nina. How do you see this one playing out?
Man, I think it's like typical striker versus grappler, I prefer like that. I think when it's striker and grappler, the striker is a little way more like fish out of the water, so it's a little bit easier for me to get like submissions and kind of just I guess like to throw a lot of submissions like uh, attacks and things like that. Like maybe they can defend one or two, but when they don't have like a really, really big background on the ground, you can kind of end up catching them sooner or later. But it's crazy because Nina, she's a little bit different than regular striker because her takedown defenses are so good. She has a really high takedown defense. She has good reflexes and things like that. So I'm hoping her timing is a little bit off on that. But I doubt it. I know she's gonna come like no one goes into the fight, you know, unprepared, so I know she's going to be on point with her takedown defense. And that's where Parilla Boxing comes in, just to help me melt everything together, my striking with my takedowns, with my ground game. So I think that the way to win this fight is a submission. I don't want to go like 3 rounds again, like my last fight, even though it was lots of fun, but like I said, I want to try to get to the belt soon, like this year, hopefully, so the less damage possible, the quicker I can get back into camp, and the quicker I can keep climbing the rankings and try to get the belt. So I think a submission in the first round is the way to go.
And you recently earned the first leg lock submission in women's MMA history, I believe. So we talked about maybe it's hard to make improvements in grappling because you're so accomplished, but maybe you can hit those records, right?
Oh, definitely. Like when they like leg locks for us in jiu-jitsu is so normal. So when they said that was like the first one for the UFC women's, I said like, man, like leg locks, that's the first. So I have so many ideas, of submissions that I know for sure the first thing, like the men's and the women's and everything. So definitely have a lot of like ideas up my sleeve. I think I'm still like tied for the most submissions in the division, maybe in the whole women's categories. So hopefully if I get another submission, I will pass to the number one, the most submissions for the woman. So we'll see. We can always ways to break records.
Yeah, and you talked about the route to a title shot. Do you feel like with a win over Nina, maybe you're one fight away? Do you see yourself, do you have kind of a mapped out plan, maybe a couple fights away from a title shot?
Yeah, I think like 1 or 2 fights. For me, it could be like, not tomorrow because I have obviously Nina first that I have to get through. She's a big challenge, but if I win and everything goes good, for me, okay, the next fight, I don't know who will be Rose or Zhang Weili, or Carlos Esparza with Cheyenne Yang, but there's a lot of things happening in the top 5, around there. But for me, I feel ready, but I know for sure, like my coaches, they're like maybe 1 or 2 more fights, just to be like, really ready to be the champ and not have any surprises, and show the part. Maybe I can be the champ because I have a lot of heart and I work hard and all these things, but we want to be the champ, like, and everyone can see like, okay, she's meant to be the champ. Like she looks the part. She is the part, mentally wise, physically wise, and technique wise. I think still you can see my last fight. I start good, but then I get excited, and then it kind of goes back to like a little bit bar fight, a little bit, brawling, and then comes back into technique, and then it's hard. And so we want to try to stay the whole time controlled, pressing forward, seeing everything, and like champ material.
And I'll ask you a couple more questions. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you doing this during fight week as well. Speaking of that title fight, how do you see it? How do you see the title fight between Zhang Weili and Rose Namajunas going? Who do you have in that one?
Man, it's like when I see Zhang Weili, I think I'm thinking like, man, if I was to fight her, it will be to do the ground. I think that Zhang Weili is gonna win this fight, but if there's anyone to do it, I think it's Rose that can beat her, because I know Rose has like the flying arm bar. She's comfortable with her ground game. She has like, I saw her working like heel hooks and all these things. So the way I saw like, okay, the way to win, to beat the champ is going to the ground. I see like Rose has all those opportunities and like all that technique that she needs to get there, but I just think that Zhang Weili is so like confident right now, and she's just at such a good rhythm, momentum in her career, that I think it's going to be hard to take her off right now. So that's why I'm hoping a couple fights, you know, she'll be a little bit more like burnt out and kind of, you know, defended the title a couple times and okay, ready for a new champ, you know. But if there's anyone to beat her, I think it's gonna be Rose, you know.
Right. And one last one. You said your official prediction is a first round submission.
Yes. I hope. Let's do it. That's the plan.
All right. Well, Mackenzie, again, I appreciate you doing this in fight week. I know how busy and hectic it can get for you guys. So thank you for taking the time and best of luck on Saturday.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Nice to talk to you.